Hey guys, welcome back. All right, hello fellow adventurers. I am here in Tallinn, Estonia. This is a castle, if you can't tell. I'm in Old Town area. There's a nice park to the left of me and a beautiful castle to the right. I am here for a couple of months. I like to travel like this, where I stay in a place for a length of time. I've visited a couple other places in Estonia, but Tallinn is definitely the capital. It's definitely the place to be. Typically, you know, if you're coming here, you're going to come here to the city. It's beautiful. The whole country has a population of 1 million. I don't know what the city is. I should know that, but I don't. Anyway, you can look it up. That's what Google and GPT is for. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to tell you the difference between, like, I'm going to be documenting these different places I'm living in. So I'm going to talk to you about what I like about Estonia, what I find different or interesting to me than like, you know, Canada, where I'm from, and just to give you a little bit of a teaser. So first of all, I'm going to just go to things that are important to me, and then I'll talk about maybe a few other things. So for me, I'm a digital nomad, so I'm staying here for a length of time. So I love the fact that there's an amazing, you know, entrepreneur community. It's actually very pro-entrepreneur in this city. You can get this basically digital nomad visa, which lets you open up a business here with very great tax advantages and stuff. Open up a company in Estonia very, you know, very easily. Everything's digitized. I mean, even though it's like a city that basically has, like, you know, a very old history. I mean, it's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's actually been occupied by many different empires in the past. So the most recent one was the Russian. Before that, there was German, there was Norwegian, there's a bunch of other, or Netherlands. There's basically a bunch of different sort of superpowers, essentially, of their era that would come here because it was a very strategic spot in the Latvian countries in Eastern Europe here. So once the Soviet Union went down, it got its independence only about 30 years ago. So the culture here is really interesting. You've got basically, you know, sort of the younger generation, they all speak English. So it's really easy for me as a Canadian being here, being able to speak English. I don't speak Estonian. It's a beautiful language, but I don't understand it yet, you know, or anything. So being able to speak English to everybody that I meet, that's like basically my age or younger, is great. Anybody who's like, you know, above their 40s kind of thing, or, you know, I say would probably, chances are, not speak English. They're going to be coming from, like, maybe they speak Russian because, again, they used to be part of the Russian Soviet Union. So you're going to hear Russian more, and you're going to hear Estonian, right? So there is a bit of a disconnect with the older generation. Thankfully, though, it's a pretty young population. Like, you know, most people I meet are, you know, like I said, are fine to talk to. It also has an economy that's a little challenged. So if you're coming here for employment opportunities, I think North America is going to be better where I'm from. So that's a big difference. Like, I think you're going to be able to get jobs more easily in North America. If you're an entrepreneur, though, I think the opportunities here are probably just as strong, unless you're raising money. And that's a whole other story. If you're raising money, obviously, you know, going to some place like San Francisco is going to be better. There's going to be more money access for you. One thing I've been talking to another entrepreneur here about, though, is that the government here actually is very pro and supportive of businesses. So you can actually get grants and money from the government, which is very difficult to get in North America. In Canada, a little bit better than in the US, but it's still challenging. Here, it's actually quite easy from what I've been told. The other thing is it's part of the EU, of course, so I'm getting an extended visa, which lets me stay in the country for up to a year, and you can renew it, and then I can actually travel to other parts of Europe, which is fantastic, right? So it's a huge advantage that way. If you want to, like, live and explore Europe, you can get a special visa that lets you sort of travel all around the European Union. Food here is amazing. I love the food. It's got, like, the Estonian food, which is, you know, there's some great sort of traditional Estonian restaurants that are good. There's also a lot of cultural restaurants. I come from Toronto, which is like the city in Canada that's very multicultural. So I'm used to multicultural. I love that. I find it very multicultural here too. I love there's a Japanese ramen restaurant that I'm like addicted to. Kanuti, big up for them, those guys. I gotta give them a shout out. I mentioned entrepreneurship, co-working. I've had an amazing experience with a co-working space here where I met other entrepreneurs and other expats and nomads called Workland. They've got like multiple locations, so you get to bounce around depending on where you're staying in the city. I tend to stay in a place for about a month and then I go to another neighborhood. That's my sort of vibe. I just like to check out the different neighborhoods. I walk around everywhere. This is an amazing walking city. It's very flat, so if you're into hiking like I am, you can hike here where I am currently in Old City, but it's like very small hike up to like the castle or whatever. But like, or generally speaking, the whole country is very flat. So there's places definitely, I think, that probably beat it from a hiking standpoint. But you've got the seafront here. You've got lots of greenery in the cities. I was living out in the country for a little bit. You've got tons of like trails, lots of forest. So that can be a lot of fun. I think it's a very, very safe place as well. So I love that. Estonia is very safe. It hasn't been so safe for my puppies. So I came down with 2 puppies. Unfortunately, I had an accident with one of them where he was bit by the only viperous snake in the country. Bit him in a really bad spot. Unfortunately, he didn't survive. My other dog was just bit recently by a stray dog that was adopted by somebody who didn't know it very well. And so I've had bad luck with my puppies. I haven't been as impressed with the veterinarian service here, even though I think they care a lot. I think they're a little bit too casual. Like, my other puppy, I think, there could have been different things done with him early before his problems escalated, and then they moved him to like a better facility to take care of him. So we kind of lost 4 days there, which I think he should have been there from day one. But anyway, long story short, I think overall, hopefully your experience will be different. That's just my anecdotal experience. And last thing I'll say is very extremely technologically advanced, even though it's like an Eastern European country. You've got robots roaming around. Everything's digitized. It's really convenient. Very little bureaucracy. So amazing from like just an efficiency standpoint. I love it. It's way better than actually Canada, where I'm from, where things are a lot more bureaucratic. Things take a lot longer to get done. I was ordering prescription stuff like off of an app. Go pick it up at any. They just look at my code and I could pick it up at any drugstore. It was amazing. Like stuff like that is just like unheard of where I'm from. So really cool. Definitely recommend it. Last thing I'll say, it's off the radar. So if you're from North America, you probably haven't come to Estonia. I don't know very many people have come here in my circle from North America. So it's great because it's not touristy. There is tourists that come here, especially to Tallinn, but only mostly from Eastern Europe and other parts of Europe, and then also I've seen a lot of people from Asia. I don't see people from North America. So if you want to come to a place where you're kind of feel more like a local, or get a more of a local kind of vibe because you don't feel like a tourist everywhere because there's not a lot of tourists around, this is a place that I definitely recommend in Eastern Europe, in the Latvian countries, and amazing for entrepreneurs. You can come here and have lots of opportunities. So that's what I'm sharing. That's the stuff that I've enjoyed in my experience here so far. I'm a big fan, and I encourage you to check it out and let me know what you think, okay? All right, well, that's it. That's all I have to say. I'm out.